All right. So today I'm going to show you how to work the deltoid of your hip. So if this is a key muscle for balance in your hips, and if it's too weak, it can cause a grinding in your knees. So if you're looking to save your knees, hit that like button for me to let me know you want more content like this. So a lot of people work on their shoulder muscles, those deltoid muscles, which are important. If those are too weak, you stop being able to lift your arms, but they neglect the same muscle down here in their hips. So what we're gonna do to strengthen those hip muscles is a hip lateral raise. Now, for this, what I like to do is do a little bit of a lean away from that leg, where we're gonna be working this muscle right here on the outside of the hip called Gluteus Medius, or a glute med. For this, what I'm gonna do is, keeping my toe pointed straight towards the front, I'm gonna lift up to the side and hold for a moment. So, important thing on this, the hold at the top doesn't actually build more muscle, but I think it's a very important feature of this exercise because it enforces proper technique. So if I hold for a moment, then I'm not swinging with my hips like this. So I'm lifting up where I'm actually tensing up this muscle right in here. The other important thing is I'm not twisting my foot where I'm engaging this rectus femoris muscle at the top. So I'm keeping that toe pointed straight towards the front, just like I would in a lateral raise where I'm not twisting my hand up or down. Now that is gonna cause this muscle to have to contract and lift. I'm gonna do this until I feel fatigue building up in that leg. So this is just like a lateral raise for the hip. They'll strengthen that gluteus medius and help save your knees. So if you like this content and want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you there. Now we're gonna keep on going with a full workout incorporating this exercise along with the muscles in the arms. So we're gonna be working a lot of the small muscles in the arms, like the biceps, triceps, and deltoid. And then as well, we're gonna be working the muscles in the hips. So I do all my workouts live on stream because I'm not doing something different than what I'm telling you to do. So we're gonna start by warming up with a bicep curl. So I'm gonna tuck my elbows into my sides, leaning back a little bit, pulling up to the front. So I'm doing about 10 reps, just getting blood flow into the muscle. I'm starting with a light weight before I go to a heavier weight to get blood flow in, so I'm not just starting working out cold. And next I'm going to do a tricep extension, for an overhead tricep extension for these muscles in the back of the arm. So putting this right behind my head. I like to do exercises in pairs where I'm working the biceps and then alternating with the triceps. So working all those muscles in the arms. Now with this, I'm trying to keep my elbows forward, bending the elbows all the way down to bring the dumbbell behind my head, and then back straight as I can without hitting my head. And just getting some blood flow into the joint. So we're also going to be doing lateral raises for the deltoid and the hips. We used to do these a lot in martial arts where you bring your leg out and hold it. So you do a kick and hold, working on those muscles in here. But I found that I stopped doing those exercises as much because I stopped training in martial arts, and my glutes have actually suffered for that, where I feel those muscles tightening up and it's not comfortable on, or it is not as strong as it used to be. So I need to incorporate those back into my routine, and including it in an arm day where I'm not utilizing the other leg muscles very heavily lets me catch up those glute med muscles. So I'm gonna put that in the rotation today. That's why I'm doing it the way I am. So it's great to include in a day where you're doing smaller auxiliary muscles, because those muscles tend to heal faster. It's a small but very important muscle. And for the bicep curl, I'm trying to lean back a little bit away. I'm actually leaning back away from that movement to create as much tension as I can in that bicep. That's the whole goal with all hypertrophy movements or muscle building movements, is trying to create tension in that muscle. So I'm not worried about how heavy I'm lifting. I'm worried much more about how the muscle feels. So does it feel tired by the end of the movement? Because that's what's gonna help it grow. For these, I am starting back with 11 reps. I had ended on 12 before taking a week off to recover. And so I'm coming back at 11 to continue to progress this exercise. So what I'm doing is constantly stair-stepping up reps to continue to challenge that muscle. So for this week, I'm gonna be doing 11. Next week, I'll probably try for 12 reps. So I'm always pushing the muscle a little bit more. I'm trying to keep good technique all the way through though. So I'm leaning back a little bit, letting my arms fully extend, and then back up. So I really should feel that tension on the bicep. Burning right now in the muscle, and that's a good sign. That fatigue building up in the muscle, where I know it's going to help it grow. So, because I'm trying to build up my arms and build up more muscle mass in them, I'm doing multiple sets of these exercises, because each set increases the amount that muscle grows per workout. I used to be a 1 set per workout or person, and that can build some muscle, but it'll take a lot longer to do that. So it's just like investing. If you were to invest 1 penny at a time, would you make money? Yes. Would it be that much? Not really. So if you can take more and invest more, the faster that compound interest will build up. Same thing with working out. Increasing the number of sets, increasing the times you repeat that exercise per week, you'll build more muscle faster. Now, obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into that. Nutrition has a big impact, making sure you're eating enough, making sure you're sleeping enough, and your genetics have a part in that as well. That's why, but the exercise part, we're giving ourselves the best possible chance of growing more muscle. So, trying to repeat an exercise will build more muscle and maximize how much you're getting out of each workout, as long as you are challenging the muscle as well. So repeated challenges to the muscle. So we're not doing a lighter weight or low reps. We're trying to go high enough weight and high enough reps that the muscle feels tired by the end. And relax. And the nice thing about supersetting, which is what we're doing here, where we go from one muscle to the next of different sides of the joint. So if we're working triceps, we're also pairing it with biceps. Because of that, when one muscle's working, the other muscle's recovering. So I can get through a workout much faster, even though I'm doing multiple sets. And now, if you are looking to spend a little bit more time in the gym, you can give yourself a minute or two break between sets, and that's totally fine. It's actually usually better to let a muscle recover rather than just trying to hit it again and again while the muscle's still fatigued. So letting that lactic acid clear out, letting your body recover from that fatigue, lets you actually build more muscle rather than challenging your heart and challenging getting out of breath. You can actually build the muscle instead. Nothing's wrong with doing cardio workouts, but if you're looking to build up as big of muscles as you can, cardio is not going to be specific enough to cause that change. So your body is really efficient in how it uses resources like food, and that's why we want to have a specific workout for the goals we're going for. I personally am going for increasing my muscle size. So because of that, I'm trying to challenge the muscle specifically. If you're like me and want that goal, want to try to build up bigger arms, especially right now, hit that subscribe button to be here live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I do all my workouts live on stream, so you can join me and work at building up larger muscles, especially in your arms. I'm gonna give my biceps just a minute longer because I can feel it still burns as I try and hold the dumbbell. So I'm gonna wait and let that burning feeling go away before I go on to the next exercise, to let that recover. Now, as you're working out, you can probably feel the muscles swell up. Some people call that the pump, or a pump, where the muscles actually filled up with blood, filled up with nutrients to be able to supply that exercise. So after you work out, your muscles will actually be bigger than when they started because they're all swollen. Now, the more you do that, the more that the the norm for the muscle rather than just after working out, where the muscle size increases. So the muscle cells increase in size. We don't get more muscle cells, probably. Currently the science seems to be your muscle size is more how big each cell is, not how many cells you have. So you don't get new muscle cells, you just get bigger muscle cells of the ones you already have. All right, doing a bicep curl, going up to the front. So putting those muscle cells under tension, like what we're doing here, helps pull nutrients into those muscles. Now on this, I'm trying to keep my hips from swinging. So I'm standing straight and tall, leaning back just slightly. And 11. And relax. Those are getting a bit harder to do. This is set number 4. I'm trying for 5 sets in all. Because if you're trying to grow a muscle, I think a good number to shoot for is between 3 and 5 sets. If you've been doing this a little while, if you're just starting out, start with 1 or 2 sets, see how it feels for the first couple weeks. And then if you're able to, without being really sore, adding an extra set is a great way of progressing the exercise to start building up muscle faster. Because the more sets we do, the more that muscle can build. So I liked to aim for 2 to 3 sets for muscles I'm trying to maintain their size, and 4 to 5 sets for muscles I'm trying to build. So I'm trying to build up my arms. So I'm working at least trying for 4 sets. So this is our 4th set of tricep extensions. So elbows high, going up towards the ceiling. Careful to not hit yourself in the head as you come back down. So I'm really having to bend the elbows. So I'm not bending at the shoulder, I'm all from the elbows. You know, if you bump yourself in the head, you probably bent at the shoulder a little bit too much, where I've brought the elbows forward rather than keeping them up. Oh, and that should feel that burn by the end. So that was set number 4. And as you go, you probably, you might need to drop the weight the further along you get in the sets. That's okay. That's what's called a drop set. As the muscle fatigues, there might hit a point where the muscle has nothing left to give, and that's okay. That means you got everything you could out of that muscle. I used to go all the way to what's called muscle failure, where I couldn't lift the exercise a single more time. I've actually realized, and the science has shown, that that's not as effective for building muscle over time, because it builds a little bit more muscle for a lot more fatigue. I was always sore. I would miss workouts or not be able to work out as hard. Even though I was pushing my body as hard as I could, the muscle wasn't healing fast enough. So I found that going a little less intense with still challenging, but not going all the way to the breaking point, made a big difference in how fast I'm progressing. So elbows tucked into your sides, lifting up to the front. Last set of bicep curl. Now I'm trying to keep my hips from swinging at all during this. So I'm pulling all from that bicep in my upper arm. I think there's a pitfall for both sides of this. You can work out too light or too heavy. where on one side, you're not really challenging the muscle, and so it's not gonna grow. On the other side, you're challenging it so much that the muscle can't heal in time. So both of those are not good for your progress. So you really want that Goldilocks, is not too heavy, not too light, but right in the middle where it's just right. And that was an unintentional rhyme. Someone thought that was contrived. I definitely did not mean to do that. I'm just not that good at, especially during working out. So if you're liking these workouts and want to see more, hit that subscribe button for me. If you're enjoying this, if you've watched so far, then I'd love to have you part of the community where we can encourage each other working out together. I'll show you what I'm doing, and if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, last set of triceps, and then we're going into the muscles in the hip to work that glute med. Hey, Happy New Year, Lars. It's not quite the new year here yet, but New Year's Eve. Good to see you. Glad you're able to be here. So, doing last set of triceps, hands behind the head, elbows stay high, going up towards the ceiling. Now make sure you've got a good grip on this so it's not gonna slip. I like to hold one hand over the other. And 11. All right. All right, so we just worked a lot in the arms. We're gonna give the arms some time to recover. And we're gonna work the muscles in the hips. So with this, we're gonna do a lateral raise for the hip. This is working that deltoid of the hip. It's called the glute med or gluteus medius. So what I'd like to do is lean away from that leg. So I'm working this top leg right here in the hip. I'm gonna lift up to the side, keeping my toe pointed straight towards the front. I'm gonna hold for a moment and then drop back down. So I should feel that tense up right here where my pocket is. I'm going until that muscle feels tired in my leg. So I like to do higher reps with this one. Excuse me, rather than trying to do some sort of resistance band. I found it's hard to do resistance bands on this one. Just the position is a little awkward. Now, the other thing is I want to not let my hips drop back. I'm going to keep my hips forward, so I'm lifting straight out to the sides. Straight out to the side. I'm not tipping my hips in any direction. They're just stable where I'm pulling just the leg up, because this muscle actually anchors to the hip, and so I need it my hips stable, otherwise this muscle is not actually changing in length, it's just tipping. I want the muscle to pull up this direction. So that's one thing I like about leaning away from the exercise. It stops my hips from being able to really rock to cheat this movement. So, did 20 on that side. I'm gonna try and do 20 on this side. Oh, It looks really easy until you try and do this exercise and you realize how tiring that can be. Just like lateral raises, where it looks really easy until you try it. So just your leg weight is enough to usually get a great workout into these, especially if you haven't worked out the glute med that much. If you're doing squats and you find you're tipping to one side, usually that means that glute med is a little bit weaker on that side. So strengthening up those side hip, they're the hip abductors, can help with that side-to-side movement. It also can help with balance because it keeps that hip stable underneath your shoulders. So it's great in a lot of things, especially good for your knees, because if my hip is out here as my knee bends, it collapses that knee and grinds and can damage the ACL, the meniscus, the MCL, can all have extra pressure and that pulling on those ligaments, which we don't want. So this is a great exercise to do to keep your hips healthy. I'm trying to go up, hold for a moment, and then back down. That way I'm not swinging to get up, because that would cheat me out of this contraction, this muscle tension. Now trying to keep that toe pointed straight to the front, especially as you get tired, you'll probably want to try and rotate. But if we rotate the leg, we're starting to use our quads, that top quad, to lift up the leg instead of that side hip. And a lot of people, unfortunately, use other muscles to try and compensate for this. That's if you see how people who are elderly, you'll see that commonly where other muscles will take over. And there's something called Trendelenburg's gait, because this muscle is too weak and where other muscles are compensating around it. So instead of letting other muscles do the work for you, it's good to strengthen this muscle so that you can keep the hips healthy where other tissues aren't taking over. Oh, 20. Oh man. That one is just so deceptively difficult. You can feel that burning here on the sides. Yeah, it's a big martial art exercise to hold out the leg like that. Oh, that's hard to do right after doing the leg lifts. But we want to make sure we keep those side hip muscles strong and healthy. So we just did the lateral raise of the hip. We're going to end with the lateral raise of the deltoid. So I think these muscles are important too. For the hips, it causes your knees to grind. For the shoulder, it limits how much you can lift up overhead. So we want to keep that shoulder healthy and able to move. And aesthetically, it's nice to have big shoulders to look really big and broad. So the way we do that is by building up this shoulder cap. So it's both functional and aesthetic. So we're going to do a lateral raise with dumbbells. From this, standing with your hands at your sides, thumbs pointed straight towards the front. So I don't want them to twist in or out. So straight out to the sides, you're going to lift up to the side and then back down just like a snow angel. So going up and down, straight out to the sides. I don't want to angle forward if I can help it. The more I angle forward, the more that anterior deltoid, that front deltoid takes over. If I go straight out to the sides, I can limit how much that front deltoid's working and increase the amount on my middle deltoid for that shoulder width. Now the other thing is I'm not swinging with my neck. I'm just lifting my arms so where my shoulders stay down away from my ears. So think about bringing the back of your hand up towards the ceiling, not your shoulders up. And relax. Now if you feel like your shoulder, you can't do this without your shoulder lifting up like this, try a lighter weight, keep that shoulder down, and just lift only the arm. Usually this muscle, this trap muscle, will compensate if the deltoid can't lift it on its own. So usually if you're feeling that, you're going too heavy, try a lighter weight where you feel it more here in the cap of the shoulder. And we're trying for 2 to 3 sets of lateral raises, and then that'll be our last exercise for this year. So I'm trying to grow this a little bit, but it's more about maintenance for this exercise. So I'm maintaining the muscle mass I have by doing 2 to 3 sets at the moment. So if I do 2 to 3 sets 3 times a week, that's 6 to 9 sets. And 11. Where I feel that burn in the muscle in each set. Whew. Oh man. So right now I'm focusing more of my time into my bicep tricep and see how much I can do with that. So now you can probably grow muscle with as little as 6 sets per week. So just doing once a day, 1 set a day basically on average. But you will most likely grow more muscle if you do more sets. So the muscles you really want to grow faster, adding extra sets of exercises for those muscles can help grow that muscle faster. So I'd like to grow bigger deltoids, but at the moment, a lot of my energy is going into my arms and building up those. So I'm doing more sets of arms and a little less of the deltoid. Eight, 9, 10, and 11. Oh, so if you're liking these workouts and want to see more, I host these live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where I do all my workouts live on stream. So hope to see you there and have a great new year.